Welcome to the Ladies Discourse. This is your girl Taz,
And your girl Sha.
and we're your hosts on TLD. Today's show is about dating, the big D. Let's
Mm.
see what dating means. They said dating is a stage when two individuals come together to engage in conversations, activities, quality time, along with other things with the intention of finding a life partner. I know there's probably, some other definitions, but that's one of the ones I found. So, it could be a little more, it could be a little less. But I thought that was interesting. What do you think,
I
Sha?
I think that is interesting. I think that's quite accurate. I think dating is basically when two people come together and and trying to learn about each other to see if potentially that person could be someone they could spend time with, whether it be a life partner or a right now person or
Right.
um, just someone, a companion to maybe just do things with.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get into it. Well, let me ask you, Sha, what are some of the anxieties you have or that other women may have when it comes to dating?
I think the main thing is I find that dating nowadays, most people are meeting online.
Mm-hmm.
And most people that I know that are dating on a consistent basis, they're meeting a person online. And I guess we have to get used to that because Match.com has been around since 1995. So the online dating has been around for a long time.
Right.
And I feel the best way to meet someone is in person. And even if you meet someone in person, there could be, you still have to be careful with that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think with online dating, people could just kind of hide a little bit more than they can if you meet them in person. So I think people have concerns about, is it safe when I meet this person? Are they, who they say they are? Are they going to treat me kindly? Are they going to knock me over the head and steal from me? So I think there
Right.
might be some anxiety about the safety of meeting, especially online.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a number of people that have tried online dating. As a matter of fact, I have two friends that met their husbands online. So I know it can be a very good option for
Mm-hmm.
dating. But then I have a host of other friends that's like, they tried it and they didn't like it. They feel like the people on there are playing games. They, they may text them in the morning, "Good morning, beautiful," and then they don't hear
Right.
anything else from them. Then the next day, "Good morning, beautiful." It's like, what are they doing that for? So it could be wasting their time. And then they may meet someone, they may talk, and they don't set up a date. It's like they just want someone to talk to on the phone. So I
Right.
think it could,
Pastime.
yeah, could potentially be a waste of time if that's not what the other person's looking for. Maybe both people just want someone to talk on the phone. Then that could be fine. And
Right.
then I've heard this term, especially when people are getting older, that men are looking for a nurse or a purse.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're looking for someone to help them with their different medical problems, or if they're not in a good financial situation, they're looking for someone to help support them financially. So, and no one wants to be used for that. I mean, we know
Right.
that when you're in a relationship, if your partner has medical issues, you are there to help them, and financial issues, you are there to help them. But no one wants to be chosen because they could be someone's nurse or purse.
Right.
So, and
Those are
then
some
to
good.
another thing with online dating is I hear people say they don't put a recent picture up. They may put a picture from 10 years ago, and then when they get on the date, it's like, "This person don't look like the person in the picture."
Oh my
So,
goodness.
deception could happen with the online dating, and, I know someone that she met someone online. They never met in person, and they were talking on the phone and stuff, and then he ultimately asked her for money. He asked her to send him some money, and he was scamming her. So
Right.
those are just some of the anxieties I think that may come up when someone's dating.
And those are definitely good points. But I feel like that can happen. When you meet someone face to face. It's just like you said earlier. It's I think with social, dating online, they can definitely hide their, who they really are, and you know, like you said with the pictures, they could, like you said, put a younger picture up. So yeah, it's sad when
Mhm.
it comes to the
Yeah.
social media because a lot of people, to me, use a lot of deception. But again,
Mhm.
it can happen if you wasn't even utilizing that. So okay, so let's
Yeah.
see.
With that being said, online dating seems to be the most popular way people are meeting these days. Do you think that's the best way for people to meet, or do you have some better suggestions?
I don't think it's the best way, but I can understand why some people may feel that way.
Mhm.
I think it's just more of a convenient way. I think people don't have to leave their home. So, hey, why not? You could just be behind a computer and, like you said, be who you really are or be someone else. So, I just think it's more convenience. But yeah, I wouldn't say that it's the better way. If I had to think of some suggestions, I would say, start with friends and family. I think those are
Mhm.
the main ones you should go to. They kind of know who you are, know your personality, and a lot of times they know people that may be a potential match. You know, um,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, to go to friends and family and, let them know, I'm single, I'm
right,
interested in meeting somebody. And so they could at least have that in the forefront of their mind. Oh, yeah, she
right.
just told me that she's interested in meeting somebody. And, maybe they will have a friend.
I think that's one of the easiest ways. Especially for some of the ones in your family that are very social. I think,
Hmm.
yeah, just put that out there. Or like I said, just another one I would say, well, get out more, go to places too that you wouldn't normally go to.
Right.
Think about concerts, you got plays, you got festivals, you have cookouts, parties. I
Hmm.
think the list can go on and on. But I think you have to be out there. If you're not out there, no one knows you exist. Think about it. I mean, you got
Right.
hangout spots, you got lounges. Just
Hmm.
make sure the crowd is the mature crowd, based off your age, you have
Hmm.
some people that are back in school, no matter what the age is. Hey, you may find somebody in school, so I'll be interested. Hey, maybe make them a study buddy. You never know.
Yeah.
And that way you can kind of get in that way. I know we did a. Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, I think it's when you are in school, that is a good time. Say you're in college, I think that's a good time to really meet people.
Right.
And there's usually people, guys that have your similar interests around you at
Mm-hmm.
that time. So that's a good time to at least develop some really good friendships, because
Right.
these are
Well, I'm
people
just
that.
well, I'm just saying too. Just as even when you beyond them years, some people with this college years and years ago, and some people just like brushing up on some new skills. So even for the ones who's re-entering and taking up
Hmm.
something new, same thing. I think that's where you can find a potential mate as well.
Right.
We talked about in our last episode, one of our last episodes, volunteering. I think that's another way you can find your equal, or just someone
Hmm.
again like-minded, because you figure if they're
Yes.
doing that and I'm doing it, then we may have some of the same interests, which I think is really good. And that kind of takes away, well, that kind of helps, with trying to find your match because you figure, oh, he like what I like. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a go. Uh,
Someone told my mother that fundraisers, fundraising events is a good place to meet people too.
okay.
Yeah,
Which I
I
feel
wouldn't
like
have
it's
thought.
all the same, to be honest. But Well,
Mhm.
events, like I said, like sponsoring events and stuff. I've done a lot of those type of things too, where you helping with,
Mm.
different sponsors, like you said, or fundraisers. Absolutely, because it's just all types of people out there, from
Mhm.
different walks of life. You got church, sporting events. That's where a lot of men are. What
Yeah.
about the airport? You see a lot of business people in and out. That's a good
Mhm.
place.
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
even out the country. Come on. Find somebody somewhere else. And you may move there, they may move here. You never know. So I mean,
You
come on.
don't
You gotta look
know.
at it like that. No, you don't.
Mhm.
So you really gotta, broaden your horizons and be like, you know what? It can happen anywhere. So
Yes, it
and I
can.
yeah. So I
Grocery
think those are some.
store. I've
Yeah.
met people at the grocery store, the farmer's
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
So
You
you
really
don't
can't.
know.
You don't, and you have to be open, and I think that's the biggest part. You have to be open to receive that. If that's what you're looking for, you have to definitely be open to it.
Mhm.
So let
Yeah.
me ask you, Sha, how long do you think a person should date someone before they make it official?
I don't think there's a certain amount of time that two people should date before they make it official. It
Okay.
just depends on how things are flowing. Sometimes people instantly connect
Mm-hmm.
and they're on the same page. They both want the same thing at the same time. Two people like that, it shouldn't take them long, maybe a couple of months to make it official. But then you have some people that they may only see each other once a week because of
Right.
whatever they got going on in their life. So, someone, if you're just seeing that person once a week, I would think it would take longer for you to get to that official state. And you have people, they seeing each other almost every day. So,
Mm-hmm.
for those two people like that, I don't think it would take long.
But let me ask you, do you think, I mean, should you give it more time though? I know sometimes it doesn't, like you said, just the chemistry, you can just be like instantly. But do you think you still need? I think some cases, I think that's the thing. We think is all great until we get deeper in it. And it's like, wait a minute. There's some things I'm noticing now that I didn't notice, just last week. You know what I mean? So I think
I
when you
think Yeah, you're right. Because initially things may seem, oh, this is good, all good, but then you're like, So that's a good point because, yeah, the first couple of months, you're not going to see a whole lot. They say you should
no,
date somebody for all 4 seasons to really see how they are.
right.
I think a year is long. I think the true colors, to me, from my past experience, the red flags come up pretty early. If
They
we
do.
really pay attention to them, they come up really in those first few conversations, but for whatever reason, we choose to overlook them. So
Right.
I think if we at least try to
Yeah.
be as open as we can to what we are truly seeing, and maybe bring a friend or family member into the equation as far as meeting the person, being around the person, because they're going to be able to see things way better than we
Right.
could see them, especially if we like the person.
You're right about that. Now, you made a good point. Now, you stated that, but how true is that? Because you could bring people around and you could tell somebody about your situation, but are we that open to receiving that, criticism or,
When we
especially
deep
if we
in,
feel
no. If we're deep in, no, we're not. But if
right,
it's kind of early, we hopefully we would be. And as we mature, I can see like when you're 20, you don't want to hear that. But
right.
as you get older, I hope we would
Right.
be more receptive to constructive criticism.
Criticism, right? Yeah, and we
Yeah.
should be because, like you said again, it saves a lot of heartache and pain, and I think people should, because a lot of people intuition is very heightened, and I think some people, like you said, could just look at a person and be like, that ain't it.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying,
Mhm.
and then it just kind of saves you that wasted time and energy.
Right. And heartache.
Right. Absolutely. So, but
Yeah.
it's funny. I listen to people all the time. It's scary too in 2023. Ooh, it
It it
really is.
it can be because you do hear some horror stories, like people
Mhm.
going on a date and they get murdered, and that's an extreme
Right.
case, but you do hear horror stories.
Right.
But there are
Right.
some wonderful stories too.
Oh, absolutely. It's real fairy tales out there. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was.
Yeah.
I wish it is. Well, was more of that than the horror stories because, like I
Yeah.
said, I just think a lot of people are not honest, and that's what makes it bad. You know what I mean? And like I said, not to say they're liars because they're just bad people, but some people, I guess, are not really happy with themselves and they prefer to be someone else that looks good, I guess.
Mhm.
And I
Or
guess
they
I can
feel they
understand it
have
to a degree.
to.
Right, right. And I guess I can understand it to a degree, but for me, that never that would never fly right with me. Just be who you are and let me decide if I want to deal with who you really are versus this make believe person. I think people should give people a fair chance and allow them
Right.
to judge
And
that.
they may be okay with the real person.
Right, right.
So
Yeah,
just give them that opportunity,
right.
and if they're not okay with it, go on to the next one
That's
and
how
see
I
if they
feel.
okay with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because lying or being someone else is not the way to go at all for no one, men or women.
Yeah. And
But
how long is
yeah,
that going to last? How long can a person keep a lie going?
yeah,
It's
only
not
but
going to
so
last
long.
long.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Do you think it's okay for a woman to be the aggressor if she's interested in a man? But do you think it's okay to ask the guy out first?
I would say to each his own.
Mhm.
To each his own. I really would because some people like it. Some people like when the man or the woman is the aggressor. But for women, I don't think we have to be the aggressor to push up. I just don't think so. I think some eye contact, a little flirting goes a long way. I mean, it sounds corny, but listen, you kind of look that way, give a little smirk, blink a little eye, kiki. I think that's all it takes. And if he's paying attention and he catches on, oh, he know, oh, she's interested in me. And and I think it goes from there. But for some men, I think some men like it. They like when a woman kind of asserts, her power or whatever. But I think that percentage is very low, though. I think men prefer a woman to be confident but
Mhm.
ladylike. And I would say the same. I was like, I think we as women should be confident, but at the same time be ladylike because I think we can still get what we want. Especially if that person is interested too.
Yeah.
So, as far as in, is it okay to, ask a guy out? Yes, I think so. Absolutely. I think the whole concept of, men asking women out has been long gone. I mean, I think that I'm not to say that it's gone, but it's not like the what do you call it? That's not the signature no more. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
not the standard no more. I think today women are going after what they want. And if that means asking him out first, she's going to do that. And I just think when it comes to women, ask the men out. The only thing I would say is, be soft and still know your role as a woman, because
Mm.
some,
That's good advice to still be
yeah,
sore.
right. Because
I'm
I
old
think some,
fashioned in
right,
that
right, right,
sense. I
right,
I believe in the guy asking the woman out first. I think men like to be the to lead and to be the aggressor in
right,
relationships. So, but like you said, whatever works for the two individuals.
right, right.
And
Yeah,
it is important to uh, be confident. That's essential. And you know, not be confident and not be you like you said, be soft with it and
right,
ladylike with it if you are going to go ahead and ask the guy out.
right. Because I think when you become that aggressive, is we have both the masculine and the feminine side, but I think when that side shows, it just kind of takes away, and then it could be a kind of a turn off to some men.
Hmm.
So, mhm.
Yeah. But, it may work. Some women may always do it and it may work for them.
Listen, we're
I
in
just
a day and age where, like, and I know you just mentioned old fashioned. That's why I said, not saying men are not still doing it because I mean they are, but it's at this day and age, it's like it's almost probably equal at this point because so many women now are like pushing up and they pushing up hard. You know what I'm saying? And they're not waiting around for a man to say, "Oh, excuse me, miss." They just not,
mhm.
especially if it's
But I
somebody
wonder
they
what
want.
results are they getting? They pushing up hard. Are they getting the results that they want? And
I
then
think
two, somebody being old fashioned, are they getting the results that they want?
right.
So,
It's probably about even, but like I just said, I think the only reason why the women that are pushing up a little harder may fail a little more is it's just depending on where you are with it. Are you being more feminine with it or are you being more masculine? And I think
that's a
that's
good
what
point.
will make the difference. If and like I said again, some men like the masculine in them woman. Oh, okay, she's like, okay, like handling me. Some of them like that. But if you're gonna push up, I think the femininity within you will win versus that, you know, harder
Mhm.
side.
Mhm.
Just my belief. But we'll have to get some men on here so they can tell us what they, how they like it and what they want.
Yeah,
So
and
I
it's
think we
going to
this
vary from man to man.
right. So this we're gonna have to do
Mhm.
a part two to this one.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So it's 2023. In your opinion, how do you think men feel or view dating?
In my opinion, I don't think men really like dating. I think they want to get to whatever that end result they're looking for, whether it's a companion or sex or friends with benefits, whatever it is, or a lifetime partner, a wife. I think they want to get to that end result, but the whole process of dating, I don't think they like it that much. This guy I used to work
Mhm.
with, he said, I hate dating. It's like, because it's like meeting these new people. And then, too, for the man, they have to usually spend money and they may go out with this person that they don't even like and have to drop 100 or so dollars on this person that they ultimately don't have an interest in. So I think it's just a necessary step to get to where they ultimately would like to
Mhm.
be. But
But see, you see what you just said. Like they have to spend, a certain amount of dollar. And see, you don't necessarily have to do that. It's other ways to date. Some people be on the phone, especially if you heard people who have long distance relationships. They just did it over the phone, and sometimes you don't have to necessarily always go out. You get what I'm saying? Or even if you're going out, it's ways where you don't necessarily have to spend that type of money to get to know someone. I just
yeah, you don't always have to spend a lot of money on a date, especially initially. They said like the first date could just be like a coffee date just to see if the two people may want to take it further. And then you could go to maybe a museum or something like that where that may not be too expensive, but
right,
eventually some money probably will have to be spent.
right. It
But
it do.
at least by then you might know if the two people are interested in each other if you do
Yeah, I
some of the
mean,
other dates first.
right. And like I said, I just think you have to get to know people better than just when they're speeding through that process. And I get men are different than women, but we both as men and women have to, I think, go through that process. 'Cause that makes or break a relationship, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if you don't go through those steps, you'll, like you say, you'll wind up somewhere or doing things you wish you wouldn't have done or wasted your time doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but I guess that's just men, they're different, so
Yeah. And they say we different too.
yeah.
So do you think that women and men should go 50-50 when they start dating?
Listen, I know you mentioned the old-fashioned thing earlier. Baby, I'm old-fashioned when it comes to that, so I may not be the person to ask that. However, let me put that however, as someone who's old-fashioned, I do believe in spinning here and there, but not necessarily 50-50.
Yeah, I agree too. Like, I think initially the guy should start spending, and then, I don't have a problem treating, like you said, here or
Right.
there.
I think, you know what? That's what men did. Men are considered providers, and it's not about using. I mean, we're in a day and age where
No.
this stuff is trumped like so high now, where you got a lot of users and abusers out here. But I think genuine men and women that know their roles in society and know how things should be still kind of stands by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the man, and this is my duty to treat my
Mhm.
lady, and
Yeah.
and and don't she doesn't have to go in her purse. And again, like I said again, and that woman gonna know, hey babe, I got it this time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it don't have to be, well honey, you gotta do 50-50 with me. I pay today, you pay tomorrow. No, that's to me,
No.
I'm gonna pass you by in a heartbeat, because no. Mm-mm. I'm just, like I said, I'm just old fashioned when it comes to that. So
I
mm-mm.
went out with this guy, this was some years ago, and first time we went out, we went to this place called Jason's Deli, which is a very inexpensive place to go. And I could tell but I like Jason's Deli because
Good,
they
good
have
sandwiches,
salads,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, and sandwiches. And I could tell just by some of the things he said, he had been taken advantage of. And
Hmm.
after the date, he called me and he said, that was one of the best dates I've been on. I had a really good time. I've been to
See?
places um like a steakhouse and did not have as good of time.
Right.
So I kind of feel for men in a sense because depending on the guy, some people do get taken advantage of. So he was kind of jaded, I think, by, the
Mhm.
previous women he dated. Then we went on a few more dates and it didn't work out, but we did remain in contact. He lives not too far from me, so I would see him from time to time.
You
And then
see?
he said to me, I just don't know why the man has to pay when, you know, you go out when they go on a date. Why can't, the woman pay her part and the man pays his part? I said, there's people out there that are okay with that. You just need to
Right.
find somebody that's okay with that. Well, some women
Absolutely.
don't
And you
mind
have to
paying.
establish that not while you at the restaurant. You establish that before you get there.
Right,
You get what I'm
right.
saying? Like, it's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you feel, and especially if, like you said, you've been used and abused before, I understand that. But don't let's get to the restaurant and you looking at me like, I'm gonna
No,
have a problem with that. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Just
And
because how I think about things, and my old fashionedness, so I'm gonna look at it like, never again. You
mm-mm.
get me? But yeah, as far as in using abusing, no. That's what I said. We're gonna have to do a part two to this, because I want to play some clips um on these different TikTok or YouTube videos that I come across. And when I tell you, I just be laughing my butt off. It is so hilarious.
What are
This
they
guy,
about? That
they're called gold digging videos.
Oh,
And
okay.
honey, I be in tears over here. Because, well, first of all, where our women are now is unbelievable. Based off of these little videos. And I'm like, yo, is this what we doing now? Is that what we doing now?
Mm,
I
oh.
mean, the women are, woo, firecrackers. And I can understand how he feels or felt or whatever, because
Mhm.
just listening to some of these little videos these different guys are doing out here now. And I don't know whether it's because they're running into men who's dropping bags on them, and treating them like queens for a moment. And so they got a taste of that, and they just feel like any man who got a little something, they running through them. They'll
Mm.
the young man could be trying to talk to them, because this is the little game that they're playing. He'll try to talk to them. He got the cameras in the background. They don't see none of it. And, she's dressed a certain way. He's like, "Oh, you're beautiful." What? And she'll be like, "Okay, whatever." Like, she doesn't have no time for him. Like, "Get away from me, you bum." I mean, that's just how she's kind of like brushing this person off. And it's
Mm.
two different guys who do these different little videos. But So he's like, "Oh, okay. I was just trying to, tell you how nice you look. I thought maybe I could get your number." And I mean, when you see how they throw them off, it's unbelievable. And they have to be
So how do
careful
the
with that.
guys look? What is it about the guys that
No,
make them wanna
it's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they're average looking guys. One of the guys, he's a little heavy, but I mean, nothing sloppy or nothing like that. And like I said, to me, they're still two decent looking men.
why do you
Um,
think they're treating them like that?
well, because their first impression to them, apparently, is just not something they want. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
in their minds, they already know the type of guy based off what he's gonna have on, I'm
He's
assuming.
gonna have certain clothes on,
Right.
certain shoes, come
Yeah,
out a
just
certain car. Okay.
right. Right. So when they continue to walk off, the guy's like, "Oh, okay, okay, I'm gonna let you do your thing," and he walks off to his car, he may walk to a Bugatti, a
All right.
Lambo truck, okay?
Okay. And now they wanna
And
talk.
they turn around in a heartbeat, was like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's you?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, that's me." He was like, "Oh, can we talk? Oh, you wanted my number?" I'd be like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And
Nope.
he was like, "Well, you were just brushing me off." No, she's like, "Well, I just was kind of busy." I mean, they put all kind of excuses, honey.
You
So
see, if you're gonna be like that, have some game with it.
it's just one of those things like, okay, if you're gonna do it, have some class about it. Know how to finesse is my word. You gotta finesse that. I mean, even if that's who you are and that's what you're about, you don't even know how to go about it to get what you want without them
Mhm.
even thinking that's who you are. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't know whether because of the men who have approached them and have dropped them bags on them, it didn't take much because they got what they wanted and they got what they wanted. But they just handling every situation like that. And I think every situation can't be handled like that. You get what I'm saying? Because some men know that they being used and some men don't care because hey, you're gonna give me what I want, I'm gonna give you what you looking
Right.
for. But
And money
some
don't mean
men,
nothing to them.
right,
It's nothing. Okay,
but
here's the money, give me what I want and buy.
right, right. But some men know that's what you're looking for and don't necessarily want that. I know they had Tyrese was on. I used to love me some Tyrese. And he was on not too long ago with his girlfriend. And I listened
That
to this
baby
other,
boy.
yeah, that's baby boy with the sparkly whites. Mm. Um, but he was had a video on not too long ago, him and his girlfriend, and this young guy who's kind of religious a little bit. He likes to do videos and then kind of add like things from the Bible. But he was just saying how Tyrese had got um I forget what was the term that he used. Oh, I can't even think of the term that he used, but basically Tyrese got played. And they was asking them a question like basically how did they meet? And she just went on and was like, well, first of all, I think she said he was in her DMs or something because I think she's an Instagram model, whatever she is. And she was like, well, let's to be honest, first off, I liked it Paul Walker. And so he was more of my type. And I was like, okay. Then she went on to say Tyrese was too old. So now I don't know how old she is, but clearly they're not, peers. And she just kind of just went in from there, and she said a couple other things and, she's rubbing on him as she's saying this. And it got to the point he was like knocking her arm off and hand off, like, yo, don't touch me like that. And you could tell that he was really feeling some kind of way, based on how he was pushing her hand and stuff off. But I was like, see, that's one of those games. You get what I'm saying? Here it is, a man who has money,
Mhm.
and even though this is someone that's not her type, she's going for it because a bag is attached. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I don't know whether he's been a manipulative, using his power and treated women that way. Why he wanted up with a woman like her, because sometimes when you do that, you get that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hope
Eventually.
right. Hopefully he hasn't been a male chauvinistic pig or, been someone using his power because he got the money and been mistreating women like that. But it just shows you like when you don't have a balance there, And when you like I said, using your money or your looks, like it's never going to really last, and it's never going to really be based off of love. So
They're not to are they still together?
no, they still together. I mean, he went on to say why he got with her, but everything that he stated was nice. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nothing that was negative towards her, you know, but
Yeah. That
she
part
just
with, he I like so and so first and Tyrese wasn't my type. She didn't really have to say that part.
right. Well, but no, but she meant that, and I'm glad that she did. But see, this is where he's messing up at because she's already telling you what she doesn't like, but yet you're still together. You get what I'm saying? Now
Mhm.
she's telling about, oh, you know, that's changed and we're together, but why are you together is the question though. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, you wouldn't even have brought that up. You could have said,
Right.
well, I thought our age was a little, and I could have seen her playing on that a little bit. But past that, I would have been like, my question would have been like, okay, so and why are y'all together now? Because okay, I heard what you liked or didn't like, but you
Mhm.
still got what someone who wasn't on your level.
Yeah.
Why? You know?
The
So
money
I think
don't
it's
hurt.
that's what it is, and they willing to lower their so-called standards just to catch that bag, to
Yeah.
be treated and go on these trips and stuff. And I think it's sad because it taint both parties really. But hey, I guess that's it costs to be the boss, so it costs to play these type of games.
To me, I'd rather be with someone that I truly like and we could just say like on a Saturday, sit at home, maybe watch a movie, maybe play Scrabble or something like that, but still enjoy each other's company. We don't have
Right.
yes, I like to travel, I like to eat out. Everybody I
Right.
think likes to do those things, but it's not what makes a relationship. I want to be able to be with the person and we don't have to do all those special things and still feel like the time we are spending is special.
Right, right,
So,
because it's not always about that. When those moments happen. But if who is really doing that every day, unless you're a billionaire, and you just
right.
live life la vida loca. But
Mhm.
yeah, people are
Yeah.
not being realistic, and like I said, it's sad, you know, when I look at those videos because the women soon as they get into the car, they be on it. Well, let's go to Dubai tomorrow. Well, Johnny needs a new coat and I need my nails done. And since you got this nice car, you can give me about 20,000, can't you? I mean, they just go right on in.
Yeah. Like I said,
Listen,
there's
like
no game to it. It's no like the
no,
word you
no.
use, finesse. It's none of that. It's like, let's take care of business.
Right. Right.
Wow. And the guys, I don't know. I guess it just depends on his agenda. He might go for it or he might not.
Right. And like I said, well, because it's like an experiment, they don't go for it. And of course they don't I don't think if it wasn't an experiment, they would because they see some of these women even be married. And he'd be like, get out of my car. But so like I said, there's a
Wow.
lot of people out here playing these games and they playing these games when it come to money. And like I said, they're willing to sacrifice. I mean, he made one girl um get rid of her man right then and there. And she's like, oh, okay, I will. He's like, no, now. And she calls him, hey, babe, I'm just letting you know that it's over. I found another guy who could do better for me and more for me, and he has that bag, and that's who I'm gonna be with. And I was like, yo,
Yeah. And then he gonna
mm-hmm.
come knock on her door and probably try to harm her, jack her
Right. And
up.
see, right. And see, people don't understand. That's another thing. That's a whole nother topic. Like I said, we have to get into that another time because yeah, these are games that could be potentially deadly. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because they're chasing this money. And what God said about it, money could be the root of all evil.
The
And he
love
states that,
of money.
right.
Hmm.
Right. And he states that because he know what people are out here doing to have it, you know what I'm saying? Or to
Hmm.
get it. And so
Yeah.
people have to be very, very mindful of, handling individuals that way or even chasing that bag, because they want a Louis or some red bottoms or, I think people really, really have to get right when it comes to stuff like that.
And that stuff does not make you happy. It's
Mm-mm.
nice. Don't get me wrong. It could be nice, but it's not ultimately going to make you happy. Period.
Right. 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 So let me ask you, I know I read the definition of dating, and I don't know if we kind of covered this. If we did, but what does dating really means to you?
It's a getting to know you state. It's just telling each other about yourself, telling the person about yourself, you hearing about them, seeing what their goals are to see if they align with what your goals are, and to see if ultimately y'all could have whatever type of relationship you're seeking, if y'all could have that eventually from what you're learning
Right.
about each other. So,
Right.
somebody might say, I want 5 kids, and then the other person may say, I can't have kids. And then you may know, oh, well, this is not going to work. But you may continue talking and figure out, well, maybe we could adopt, or, it just depends. But it's
Hmm.
just informational gathering time, I think, of dating and seeing if y'all could gel.
Right. I think you summed it up. Well, that concludes our show for today, guys.
Yes, I thank y'all for listening to us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, thank you.